ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, The Status Quo, Chapter 5. Vidura's Talk with Maitreya. Text 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha. द्वारिधूयुनद्य ऋषभः कुरूणां मैत्रेयम् अशिनम् अगाधबोधम् क्षतोपश्रत्यच्युत्यभावसिद्धः पप्रचः शौशिल्यगुणभीत्रपतः.
Hare Krishna. Sukadeva Goswami said, Vidura, the best among us, the Guru dynasty, who was perfect in devotional service to the Lord, thus reached the source of the celestial Ganges river Haridwar, where Maitreya, the great famous land sage of the world, was seated. Vidura, who was perfect in gentleness and satisfied in transcendence, inquired from him.
Text 2. Vidura Uvacha. सुखाय कर्माणि करोति लोको न ते सुखं वान्यद् उपरमं वा विन्देत भूयस्तत एव दुःखं यद् अत्र युक्तं भगवान् वेदान्नः.
Vidura said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness, but one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please therefore give us directions on how one should live for real happiness.
Text 3. जनस्य कृष्णाद् विमुखस्य दैवात् अधर्मशीलस्य सुदक्षितस्य अनुग्रहायेन चरन्ति नूनं भूतानि भव्यानि जनार्दनस्य.
O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord.
Text 4. तत्साधुवर्यादिशवर्तशं नः सम्राधितो भगवान् येन पुंसां हृदि स्थितो यच्छति भक्तिपूते ज्ञानं सतत्वाधिगमं पुराणम्.
Therefore, O great sage, please give me instruction on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that he who is situated in the heart of everyone can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of the absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service.
Text 5. करोति कर्माणि कृत्वा तारो यान्यात्मतन्त्रो भगवान् सत्यादिशः यथा सरश्चाग्र इदं निरीह संस्थापस्य वृत्तिं जगतो विधत्ते.
O great sage, kindly narrate how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the independent, desireless Lord of the three worlds and the controller of all energies except incarnations, and creates the cosmic manifestation with perfectly arranged regulative principles for its maintenance.
Text 6. यथा पुनः स्वेकः इदं निवेश्य शेते गुहायं स निवृत्तवृत्तिः योगेश्वराधीश्वर एक एतद् अनुप्रविष्टो बहुधा यथासेत्.
He lies down on his own heart, spread in form of the sky, and thus placing the whole creation in that space, he expands himself into many living entities, which are manifested as different species of life. He does not have to endeavor for his maintenance because he is the master of all mystic powers and the proprietor of everything. Thus, he is distinct from the living entities.
Text 7. कृदन् विदते द्विजगो सुराणां क्षेमाय कर्माण्य अवतार भेदः मनो न त्रिपत्य अपि श्रृणवतां नः शुश्लोकमौलेश्चरितामृतानि.
You may narrate also about the auspicious characteristics of the Lord in his different incarnations for the welfare of the twice born, the cows and demigods. Our minds are never satisfied completely, although we continuously hear of his transcendental activities.
Text 8. यस्तत्त्वभेदैरधिलोकनाहो लोकान् लोकान् सह लोकपालान् अचिक्लपद्यत्र हि सर्वसत्त्व निखाय भेदो अधिकृतः प्रतीतः.
The Supreme King of all kings has created different planets and places of habitation where living entities are situated in terms of modes of nature and work, and he has created their different kings and rulers.
Text 9. येन प्रज्ञानामूत आत्मकर्म रूपाभिधानां च विधां व्यधत्त नारायणो विश्वसर्गात्मयोनिरेतच्च नो वर्णय विप्रवर्य.
O Chief, amongst the Brahmas, please also describe how Narayana, the creator of the universe and the self-sufficient Lord, has differently created the natures, activities, forms, features, and names of different living creatures.
Text 10. परावरेषां भगवान् व्रतानि श्रुतानि मे व्यासमुखादभीक्ष्णम् अत्रप्नुमक्षुल्लसुखावहानां तेषामृते कृष्णकथामृतोऽगात्.
O my Lord, I have repeatedly heard about these higher and lower statuses of human society from the mouth of Vasudeva, and I am quite satiated with all these lesser subject matters and their happiness. They have not satisfied me with the nectar of topics about Krishna.
Text 11. कस्त्रीप्नुयातीर्थपादोऽभिधानात् सत्रेषु वः सूरिभिरिद्यमानात् यः कर्णनादिं पुरुषस्य यातो भवप्रादं गेह रतिं चिनत्ति.
Who in human society can be satisfied without hearing sufficient talk of the Lord, whose lotus feet are the sum total of all places of pilgrimage, and who is worshipped by great sages and devotees. Such topics can cut off one's bondage to a family affection simply by entering the holes of one ears.
Text 12. मुनेर्विवक्षुर्भगवद्गुणानां सखापि ते भारतम् आह कृष्णः यस्मिन् नृणां ग्राम्य सुखानुवैदेत् मतेर्गृहीतनुहरे कथायाम्.
Your friend, the great sage Krishna Devapanya Vyasa, has already described the transcendental qualities of the Lord in his great work, the Mahabharata. But the whole idea is to draw the attention of the mass and of people to Krishna Katha, Bhagavad Gita, through their strong efficiency for hearing mundane topics.
Text 13. ताश्रद्धधानस्य विवर्धमाना विरक्तिमन्यत्र करोति पुंसः हरेः पदानुस्मृतिर्निर्वृतस्य समस्तदुःखाप्ययम् आशु धत्ते.
For one who is anxious to engage constantly in hearing such topics, Krishna Katha gradually increases his indifference towards all other kings. Such constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna by the devotee who has achieved transcendental bliss vanquishes all his miseries without delay.
Text 14. ताञ्चोच्य शोच्यान्नविदो अनुशोचे हरेः कथायां विमुखा नघेन क्षिणोति देवो निमेषस्तु येषाम् आयुर्वथावाद गति स्मृतीनाम्.
O sage, persons who, because of their sinful activities, are averse to the topics of transcendence and thus ignorance of the purpose of the Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, are pitied by the pitiable. I also pity them because I see how the duration of the life is spoiled by eternal time while they involve themselves in presentations of philosophical speculation, theoretical ultimate goals of life, and different modes of ritual.
Text 15. तद् अस्य कौशरव शर्म धातुर् हरेः कथामेव कथासु सारम् उद्धृत्य पुष्पेभ्य इवार्तबन्धो शिवाय नः कीर्तयतीर्थकीर्तेः.
O Maitreya, O friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord.
Text 16. स विश्वजन्म स्थिति संयमार्थे कृतात्वतारः प्रगृहीत शक्तिः चकार कर्माण्य अतिपुरुषाणि यानीश्वरः कीर्त्य तान् माहयम्.
Kindly chant all the superhuman transcendental activities of the Supreme Controller, the personality of Godhead, who accepted incarnations fully equipped with all potency for the full manifestation and maintenance of the cosmetic creation.
Text 17. श्रीशुक उवाच स एवं भगवान् पृष्टः क्षत्रा कौशर्वमुनिः पुंसां निःश्रेयसार्थेन तमाह बाहु मानयन्.
Sukadeva Goswami said, the great sage Maratya Muni, after honoring Vidura very greatly, began to speak at Vidura's request for the greatest welfare of all people. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Devika and Shriya Mataji. Beautiful recitations. Thank you so much, dear Devika and Shriya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I'm just looking at the participants. Mamta Mataji still hasn't joined yet. Maybe Jyoti Mataji, would you mind giving her a call, please? Hare Krishna, Jyoti Mataji. Okay, so maybe Jyoti Mataji can call Mamta Mataji. Would you mind calling Mamta Mataji, please?
Yes, Mataji, I'll try right now.
Thank you so much. So in the meantime, dear devotees, let's recite the Mangalacharan prayer. You can join me behind muted mics. Hare Krishna. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Thank you so much. Hare Krishna Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Please accept my humble obeisances. All those to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please forgive me for being a little bit late today. Thank you, Mataji, for doing the prayers. And again, so sorry I have to come again today for you all. I didn't have a new reader today, new facilitator. So please forgive me. Please forgive me if I do any offenses. Today's verses, which we're going to cover, are very small, hardly any essence in that, but I thought I'll add on to different things. I hope you all will be a bit more accepting, and let's see what we can do today in the today's session. So thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Shri Krishna. So today's verses are very, hardly, they're very descriptive actually, that they have the purports are very small. So we'll just try to read as much as we can. Then I think I'll go into different pastimes of the Lord. Let's see what we can do today. So it's from 16 to 18, isn't it, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
So if somebody can read, one person can read all the three, or one by one, we can do all of them together if that's okay. Can I have a volunteer, please?
I can read the first one, Mataji, if that's okay. Hare Krishna.
Please, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. And the Run Pranamo, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 3, Chapter 5, Sloka number 16. Sarveshvajanma Sthiti Samyamarthe Krutavatara Pragrahita Shaktiha Chakara Karmani Atipurushani Yanni Swaraha Kritayaya Kirtayatanimaham. Translation. Kindly chant all those superhuman transcendental activities of the Supreme Controller, the Personality of Godhead, who accepted incarnations fully equipped with all potency for the full manifestation and maintenance of the cosmic creation. Purport. Vidura was undoubtedly very eager to hear about Lord Sri Krishna in particular, but he was overwhelmed because Lord Sri Krishna has just passed away from the visible world. He therefore wanted to hear about him in his Purusha incarnations, which he manifests with full potencies for the creation and maintenance of the cosmic world. The activities of the Purusha incarnations are but an extension of the activities of the Lord. This hint was given by Vidura to Maitreya, because Maitreya could not decide which part of the activities of Lord Sri Krishna should be chanted. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, please read the other two also, Mataji, if you can, or somebody else.
okay.
Go ahead.
I think it would be nice if somebody else wants to read it, Mataji.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
Can I
to
have
give an
another
opportunity.
volunteer? Yeah. Anybody there? If nobody's volunteering, you can do, Mataji. It's all right.
Okay, Mataji. I'll just go to the next verse then. Okay. Sloka number 17. Shri Sukha Uvacha Sa evam Bhagavan Prishtaha Kshatsatra Ko Saravo Muniha Pumsam Ni Shreya Asarthena Tam Aha Bahu Manayan. Translation. Sukadev Goswami said, the great sage Maitreya Muni, after honoring Vidura very greatly, began to speak at Vidura's request for the greatest welfare of all people. Purport. The great sage Maitreya Muni is described here as Bhagavan because he surpassed all ordinary human beings in learning and experience. Thus, his selection of the greatest welfare service for the world is considered authoritative. The all-inclusive welfare service for the entire human society is devotional service to the Lord, Shri Krishna. And as requested by Vidura, the sage described the same very appropriately. Text 18, shloka number 18. Maitreya Uvacha Sadhu Bristam Tvaya Sadhu Lokan Sadva Anugrahanata Kirtim Vitanavata Loke Atmano Doksajatamanaha. Translation. Sri Maitreya said, O Vidura, all glory unto you. You have inquired from me of the greatest of all goodness, and thus you have shown your mercy both to the world and to me, because your mind is always absorbed in thoughts of the transcendence. Purport. Maitreya Muni, who was experienced in the science of transcendence, could understand that Vidura's mind was fully absorbed in transcendence. Adoksaja means that which transcends the limit of sense perception or sensuous experience. The Lord is transcendental to our sense experience, but he reveals himself to the sincere devotee. Because Vidura was always absorbed in the thought of the Lord, Maitreya could estimate Vidura's transcendental value. He appreciated the valuable inquiries of Vidura and thus thanked him with great honor. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So these three verses are just only describing, just how Maitreya Muni, Vidura is basically guiding in a way Maitreya Muni to tell us about the Lord's transcendental pastimes. So Vidura, obviously, he's a great soul, so he sensed that Lord Krishna has left this world. And so he wanted to hear. So obviously, when somebody, as all of us know, when somebody passes away, then we like to hear about them. We become more and more attached to them, and we want to hear about them more and more. So he became really overwhelmed now with Vidura here and wanted to hear more about Lord Krishna, and also for the welfare of people like us. And that is why he wanted Maitreya Muni to tell us more about the Lord. And especially about the Purusha avatars, when the Lord was in his full form. So all the incarnations. So how this world was formed, all that, and the next verses will start off, how the world was created and how all the Mahavishnu and Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shiradaksha Vishnu, and how all the elements started. This whole world was created. All the stories will come later. When we see over here how Maitreya Muni, obviously he's quite a very advanced devotee and of the Lord, and even though, as we said that time, how Vidura and Uddhava and the Lord had a different equation, and Maitreya Muni had a different equation. So Vidura was still had the Lord's Vidura was with the Lord for most of the time, and then they can understand the Lord more in that way. Physically, I'm just trying to say, but over here, so he was guided by Vidura as to what he should, um, what pastimes he wanted to hear from the Lord. And over here, Maitreya Muni, obviously he understood, he knows the transcendental science. So what he could understand Vidura's mind fully, and so he started. He starts telling the story of the creation, and everything starts over here. Over here, Adhokshaja, they're trying to say what Adhokshaja means is which goes beyond your sense perception, which we can't understand. When it is beyond materialistic things, it becomes more spiritual. So the Lord is transcendental to our sense experience, means he reveals himself to the sincere devotee. Over here, when a person's when a person's emotions go beyond the sense perception, then obviously this is where there's a difference between how a person who's conditioned, who cannot see, who sees things for things, and therefore their eyes and their mind, they cannot go beyond the materialistic thing. Whereas a person who has faith in the Lord, maybe they can get this special powers where they can cross that river, they cross that conditioned limit, and to see the transcendental qualities of the Lord. For them, obviously, Krishna will only reveal to whom he would like to. They can see all magical things happening. I'm sure most of us, when we have real faith in the Lord, we think how miracles happen, and people don't realize, but sometimes the fact that we are still alive is also like a miracle only, that because anybody can go at any time. So Krishna is there when you see small things happening, but you certainly escape those situations where you could have been easily caught. Then you will say, oh my God, the God has saved me, or it's a miracle that I'm alive, or it's a miracle this has happened to me, or it's a miracle this is something has happened. So you can find that how when you have faith in the Lord, you can start seeing things as miracles, which other people might just, mundane people might think, oh, it is just by chance, it didn't happen. The scientists always try to put it equated by chance, you can do this, but as we know, that nothing is by chance, everything is the destiny in a way, everything is destiny. It is all well thought out by the Lord. So I was just thinking, these are the only 3 verses you will have over here. But I was just trying to go through, today morning, I was just trying to somehow read about Jayadeva Goswami, and I just was hearing about Jayadeva Goswami and just wanted to tell a small story about how Jayadeva Goswami is a big poet and from Orissa, and he wrote the Gita Govind, and he was trying to write down a special verse, where in his thought he was writing about the Leelas of Radha and Krishna, and in his mind there came a particular thought that how Krishna has so much affection on Radha, and the pastimes between them is so transcendental and so intimate, and so he, in his thought, he said how Krishna would love to decorate Radha's feet, with in Orissa they were saying about alta, how you can with mehendi or alta and with jewels or whatever it is. But when you look at the time from Jayadeva Goswami comes, or Indian culture, where they treat the husband as God, so a woman so the God can't touch. To look. So the woman is supposed to be serving the husband like God, So if the husband actually shows the similar things to the woman, it doesn't sound right, like touching the feet especially is something which is beyond thought. And so he thought oh my God, what a sin I have done. No, that is not right. That's not right. And he just leaves his composition halfway. And then he tells his wife is called Padmavati. And he says, I'm just going to the bank of the of the ocean over there just to take my shower and come back. and come back, and then I will sit down and have my meal. So he goes out, and then what happens after just hardly when Jayadeva Goswami goes out to take his bath in the sea, then again there'll be a knock at the door, and Padmavati will open the door, and who he sees, lo behold, Jayadeva is back again. She said, how come you come so quickly? No, I just remembered what I have to do with the verse. I remembered, so I've just come back quickly. I wanted to write down before I forget. So Padmavati guides this Jayadeva who's come into the study room where the notes and all were written down. So in that, wherever, so he completes the whole verse, and then he says, I'm feeling very hungry, so quickly, I've just come from the shower, I need to have some food. So Padmavati quickly prepares, she's already preparing the meal anyway. She gives the meal to Jayadeva. And after that, then Jayadeva will just go have his meal and go and rest. Then another knock comes again, and she opens the door, and then another Jayadeva comes, and he says, like, what is this? You have just now, what? She gets really confused as to what is happening. How many Jayadevas are coming through the door, And Jayadeva comes, what are you talking? He said, but you have just now come in and you had this thing, you went into the room and then you had your meal. And that time, basically, and then then when Jayadeva comes, he says, oh my God, this is the real Jayadeva. But the other Jayadeva who came was actually the Lord who has come in the form of Jayadeva, and he came over there and he rushes. So this present Jayadeva, the real Jayadeva who comes, he literally comes and goes to the room to see the verses which he had left, and then he sees over there that the verse which he thought he wanted to complete and he could not complete because he was speculating over there, oh my God, how could I do that? But Krishna, who came in the form of Jayadeva, completed the whole the sentence, saying that yes, obviously he would like to decorate Radhika's feet and everything. So that is a very important verse which even in Orissa they really they really cherish upon, and obviously the Devada has written down many more slokas. So then what happens is he says, oh my God, Padmavati, you're so blessed. See, you had the chance to see the Lord, and plus whatever meal also what the Lord was having. So Padmavati was actually having the same leftover, she was eating, and then Jayadeva literally pounced onto the thing and tried to eat. And obviously after that, then the story ends that then obviously you can hear how Krishna, when comes into the lives of pure devotees and takes them off from the dilemmas. And we have Jayadeva's lots of compositions. Of course, I think people have read about them, but this is something I wanted to share also. But there are lots of other pastimes which I thought we should do it today, because a couple of things, and I just wanted to read from some of the books also, and maybe sometimes talk in between. But I was just talking about one of this, all of you must be knowing about Bhrigu Muni's the test of who is the greatest among all the gods, like, okay. So obviously they long ago, what happens, many sages will be sitting at the bank of Saraswati river, and they are talking about the Vedic scriptures. And then one sage, obviously, he says like this, so there are three main lords who rule over the whole world. One is the creator, one is the maintainer, and one is the destroyer. So who among them is the greatest? And I'm sure you'll know that. But then they will send Bhrigu Muni, who is the son of Brahma, to go and find out. So Bhrigu Muni, so what he does, he goes to see his father first, Lord Brahma. And deliberately he doesn't wish his father. So Lord Brahma really gets agitated, and he says, at least, it's common decency that you should at least greet your own father with respect, and how dare you insult your father, who is the ruler of the universe. And so obviously Lord Brahma is proud that he's ruling the universe. And so he literally, Bhrigu sees his father really getting angry, and then he moves away from there. Then he goes to Mount Kailash to see Lord Shiva. And so Lord Shiva was very happy to see his brother, like, because Shiva comes from the brow of Brahma. So in a way, he becomes his brother. So Bhrigu, when he comes to really hug him, Bhrigu will try to step back. Bhrigu Muni will try to step back and they say, "Oh no, my dear brother, you're so dirty because you're always smearing your body with ashes, from the graveyards. So please don't touch me." Then Lord Shiva really gets very angry and he takes up his trident and he wants to kill Bhrigu Muni. Then Parvati really falls down at Lord Shiva's feet and says, like, please spare him, he's your own brother. So somehow Bhrigu Muni really escapes and then he goes straight to Shvetadipa and to visit Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu over there was sleeping in his bed of flowers there again Lakshmi Devi was massaging his lotus feet, and without being invited, obviously he just walks straight up onto the bed where he sleeps on the Ananta Shesha. And then he literally goes and strikes Lord Vishnu's chest. Then Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu will be sleeping over there, so he just goes and strikes the Lord on his chest. Lakshmi Devi, obviously, she feels very insulted with that. And they say that because of this, the Brahmanas have never been forgiven by Lakshmi, so they always remain poor, they say. So Lord Vishnu, however, did not take this offense. Right? He wakes up and he says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We are so blessed that you have come to our house and please sit down over here. I'm very sorry I did not welcome you, as you entered. I have offended you and please forgive me." So Brahmanas, like, you are so pure that the water which washes your feet can purify even a holy place. Therefore, I pray you to purify the Vaikuntha planet. That's what Lord Vishnu will say. Then he says, "Oh great sage, I know that your feet are very soft like a lotus flower and that my chest is as hard as a thunderbolt. It must have caused you some pain, by touching my chest with your foot." And now, and he also, in contrary, he says, like, my chest has now become blessed with touching your feet, and I'm now assured that goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, will be happy to live there forever and ever. Bhrigu Muni really, he feels so, ashamed that he has insulted the Lord. And the way how the Lord has responded, by offering prayers and worshipping him, then he literally starts crying and he becomes really mute. He could not even speak. He stood there silently and humbled before the Lord. And then he knew well that how he really stood. This person before whom he stood is the real Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he returns back to the Saraswati river and tells to the other sages that about the whole stories. And he says, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva became so angry, whereas Lord Vishnu, who is non-different from Krishna, simply excused and tolerated my rude behavior. And he certainly is the most greatest and most extraordinary personality. So anyone who offers devotional service to the Supreme Lord becomes peaceful and free from fear. So this is one of the stories I wanted to say, like how compassionate Lord Krishna is and the Lord is. I just wanted to bring about this thing of how, what are the qualities of how we say, why we accept Lord Krishna as God, So this I've taken from one of the ISKCON sites only. So just to go through what is the basics of what is God. So I'm going to read out some of the things. So, and plus I want to read also the 7 oceans of Lord Krishna, also a couple of things. So just so that it brings about relevance of true God over here. So anyone who can declare themselves as God in so many ways, and the less intelligent and the ignorant will accept. But the deceivers will also take advantage of the ignorant and convince them to follow ordinary humans as God. Knowing what is God will help one to know the true God. So the true God is one who has appeared thousands of times in this and other universes, and many times on this planet and other planets. This proves he is eternal and omnipotent. Anyone who has appeared only once can never be called God. The true God is creator of billions of universes with zillions of planets. He does not come to one significant planet, Earth, to suffer. He comes to enjoy a loving relationship with his devotees. The true God is one who is most merciful and loving. Anyone who only gives one's chance or sanctions eternal suffering, or uses fear can never be called God. A true God gives on the spot liberation, saves people in the current life, and destroys the demonic. Anyone who just watches people being harassed and killed and cannot stop it can never be called God. The true God has 6 opulences in full. What are they? Beauty, knowledge, strength, wealth, fame, and renunciation. The true God is the well-wisher of all living beings, and not just the humans or humans from one community or nation. The true God is a person with the most beautiful spiritual form. Anyone who is average looking, has wrinkles or a beard can never be called God. These are the symptoms of a material body. Any invisible God will always remain invisible because they don't exist. The true God is a very creative author with unlimited knowledge. He has compiled thousands of books of knowledge. There are even humans who have compiled more than 50 books. Anyone who has compiled just a few books can never be called God. The true God is responsible and an intelligent communicator. He does not make irresponsible nor ambiguous statements. The true God performs miracles which have never been performed by anyone else. So over here, Lord Krishna has appeared millions of times, proving his eternal. So in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam 2.9.33, it says, Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. Where Lord Krishna tells to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita 2.12. To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear million after millennium. This again Bhagavad Gita 4.8. So these are where the verses where we can see how Lord Krishna has said that how he had appeared millions of times, proving his eternal. Then also Lord of here, how he declares that he is the God of here. There are some verses where Lord Krishna states he creates and maintains the whole cosmos of millions of universe. So in Bhagavad Gita 9.8, Lord says, the whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated and at the end. So where Lord Krishna will say to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita 9.8. And other statement where Lord Krishna says, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Where Lord Krishna states that with a single particle of himself, he maintains the whole universe. This is also in Bhagavad Gita 10.42. Lord Krishna also says he's the source of all spiritual and material planets. So I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. That's in Bhagavad Gita 10.8. Then Lord Krishna also says he is generating the seed of all existences, where furthermore, Krishna, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. And where Krishna says how he controls the weather, he says, I give heat, I withhold and send forth the rain. Then how he keeps the planets in orbit. He enters into each planet and by his energy, they stay in the orbit. And how Krishna says he's the origin of all species of living beings, It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possibly by birth in this material nature. And that I am the seed-giving father. And where he says he's omnipresent and he's present everywhere. So you can see everywhere there's proof in Bhagavad Gita when we go, lots of proof that Krishna says he's the Lord. Although I'm the maintainer of all living entities, and although I'm everywhere, I'm not part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation. And how Lord says he's omnipotent and he's the greatest. He says, because I'm transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I'm the greatest, I'm celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. And he says, "Oh Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come." How he tries to explain, how Lord Krishna tries to state the energy of the sun, moon, and fire, all that come from him in Bhagavad Gita 15.12. He says, "The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire also come from me." Lord Krishna proved that he is the most merciful with moral teachings which benefit all living beings and actions of kindness. So we can see like how Krishna, how he in the whole of Gita and Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, we hear again and again Krishna proves that he is the Lord. So some physical proofs for Lord Krishna as God is the absolute truth is a person with the most beautiful transcendental form, Lord Krishna. Millions of people have seen Lord Krishna with their own eyes. Even today, some pure devotees are seeing and some are perceiving him every day. So you can see that he's the original source of all incarnations of the God, and he has a spiritual form. And Lord Krishna declared himself as Rupam with form. One cannot meditate on something which is formless. So when Arjuna saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "Oh Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and am restored to my original nature." So when Arjuna sees the universal form, he cannot control himself, because it is difficult, something which is not natural, to really concentrate on that and to keep focused on that. So when Arjuna sees Krishna back to his normal form, he's more relieved. Thank God, this is back again to the normal form. He was not at all happy seeing that real ruthless form of Krishna. So over here, so Lord Krishna can be seen directly by his pure devotees, which where Krishna says, "Fools deride me when I descend in human form, but they do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be." So when Lord Krishna appears on planet Earth in his human form, which is obviously eternal and spiritual, is not a material form, but the fools think that he's just like an ordinary person, and then they think like, oh, especially we know how Yadus and all, they could not understand that Krishna was the most, he's the supreme personality of Godhead, and but they were nevertheless they were great devotees to be in his association. So they compare themselves with God, and because they have limitations due to the material body, they conclude that God cannot have a form. And because he is great, they fail to realize that God has an eternal spiritual form and not a temporary material form like ours. So it is for this reason that he is great and we are not. There are lots of many things where, how we see lots of miracles, how Lord Krishna performs, and you can see like one of them is when Lord Krishna brought back all these dead people and animals. When what's this? The snake, where Krishna jumps into the river to kill the snake.
Kanya.
Kanya. Thank you. I'm getting memory loss now. So when these cowherd boys and cows and calves were really, when they were very tired and they just went to drink some water from the river Yamuna, they felt because they were feeling so extremely thirsty, they drank the poisoned water of the Yamuna river, and then they fell dead on the bank of the Yamuna soon after they drank it. So Krishna came and brought them all back to life by just looking at them, just a mere glance. Then when they regained the consciousness, they got from the edge of the water and they looked at one another in great astonishment, all these people. So they came to know that they fell dead by drinking the poisonous water of the Yamuna. And Krishna brought them back, by his gracious glance. So that is an example of how Krishna miracles, that is. Then again, Krishna, how when he was born, like God appears in a spiritual body. But normally how human beings, when they're born, they come out in form of a naked baby. But over here, Krishna comes from the womb, did not come out the womb of a woman. So he appears fully clothed as an adult, as Vishnu with his four-arm form. But then later he transforms himself into a baby. So that Krishna is unborn in the sense that his body never underwent this material changes. He appears and exhibits his transcendental forms and activities. So when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago and performed his transcendental pastimes for 125 years before going back to his abode, he had a spiritual body which was most beautiful. He never had any wrinkles, not a beard, no white hair, no any disease. These are the signs of body of God. And he appears in this material creation to enjoy the rasa of personal companion relationship with his devotees. Just like any loving father would want to see, live and play with his children. So Krishna basically came to enjoy with us the relationship with his devotees. And you can see how Krishna has been so compassionate and so loving. So basically, he always wishes well for all his devotees. He does not, how Krishna, as we say, he's not partial to anyone, but he reciprocates whoever reciprocates to him. Like, for example, we will say, Krishna is like rain, he just rains on everyone. But then it all depends upon who takes advantage of the rain. And for example, if I say he rains on all different types of seeds, so whatever type of seed you are, you will try to flourish in that way. So if the rain falls on the seed of a mango tree, mangoes will come out. And if the rain falls on the seed of a thorn tree, the thorns will come out. So what we should be is take advantage of the mercy of Krishna and cherish ourselves or transform ourselves into lotus flowers or mango fruits, which can be offered to the Lord. That's what we should try to transform ourselves. With every opportunity, try to listen to Krishna Katha or be in association of the devotees and try to transform ourselves. Krishna, even though he was living like a normal human being as a prince, only few people knew he was God, as a prince, obviously, he had 8 wives, which was normal at that time for kings and princes in the ancient times. But he was also very compassionate when Narkasura, basically, he went to kill Narkasura at that time, who had kidnapped 16,108 girls. Krishna obviously came to the aid, and he was their savior. And the girls, obviously, who were taken away in olden times when the girl's place was supposed to be with the father or the husband. But because they were with Narkasura, they were fallen from the society. So Krishna saved them from that. And he obviously married all of them and lived with 16,108 wives. And then you can see how Krishna exactly, depending upon how the personality of the princess, he also incarnated himself into a different Krishna for every princess. And then obviously he had his own children, and each of them had 10 sons and a daughter. So basically you had Krishna also had so many palaces, and each for each wife, and it's altogether a different way how only a god could do that. A human being can never do that. And again, like how Krishna becomes the supreme controller. When baby Krishna was crossing the river of Yamuna, which was when Vasudeva takes Krishna across to the Gokul, to Nandagan, to Gokul, to exchange the baby, or he just goes to basically give his to leave Krishna over there. Then how Yamuna basically will be very excited and trying to touch the feet of Lord Krishna. But then because Krishna is supreme controller, how the river basically gives way, and then how Ananta, the snake, comes over and gives shelter to Krishna. This is because Krishna is a supreme controller. And it also examples of how Krishna as Mahavishnu, how the universes are formed, and how as Karnodaksha Vishnu and then Shirodaksha Vishnu, how they live in each one's every being, how Krishna lives in as Paramatma. And also how Krishna shows with his compassion, he tries to show his greatness in a way to Yashoda Maya, how he shows the whole world inside his mouth. So that is also one of the manifestation of the Lord, which normal human being can't do. And how as a great we say as the greatest reciprocator. So this is one thing you have to know. Like teacher can be, example, if I can say, a teacher will try to teach the class and give the knowledge to every student. But suppose there are some students who will be very enthusiastic. So the teacher will reciprocate to them in a different way, because when they're curious, the teacher will try to give more knowledge to them. Similar way, Krishna also, the way how we reciprocate to Krishna, how we pray to Krishna or how we serve Krishna, Krishna reciprocates us similarly. So it depends upon how much of devotional service you do. Depending upon that, Krishna reciprocates. So the example of here is how when Krishna will, that lady who comes to sell fruits, you'll know that, right? And Krishna will run coming quickly with the small tiny hands, will try to bring grains, because that time it was barter system, they don't give money. So he wants to give grain so that he can buy fruits. And obviously when he comes, hardly there'll be any grains in his hand left. Everything will be fallen down. But the lady, out of compassion, she feels so, I mean, she loves seeing how this baby was tried his effort, come here and asking for fruit. She literally gives away the fruit, even though there was nothing, no grains in Krishna's hand. And look what Krishna reciprocates the lady when she goes back home. The whole basket of hers will be full of jewels. And you can see like how Krishna reciprocates. And then obviously Krishna, is the greatest heavyweight, where he lifts the whole mountain with his tiny little finger and he kills those big demons, So this is some of the Krishna's really very, very important pastimes where we see how Krishna performs his, where we see him as the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also here when he kills the demons also, he's quite merciful to them to give them that blessing so that they can go to their abode, like Putana, you can see, or Kamsa, anybody. They literally get relieved from their present life. And also with Kalia also, how he's quite compassionate as he literally does not kill him, but he tries to send him away to a different place, but teaches him the lesson. So it is very, very important that how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, to realize that you have to be in that mood and not deride him or just think him ridiculed, how people with limited knowledge are ridiculed him. Especially, I mean, when you see, they will try to say like, they will try to make ridicule Krishna in the form that how can Krishna have so many thousand wives? I mean, he's a flirt and he's all the things with, this is not materialistic thinking, how they think about gopis, how he goes around and how he plays with gopis and how with Radhika, and then how he has so many wives. So materialistic people think in very mundane terms. But we all know that how Krishna he doesn't have to need anybody's company in such a way. He's self-sufficient, but he comes for the pleasure of us, actually, in a way. And then you can see how Krishna, with his inconceivable opulence and power, how Krishna shows his cosmic, how he shows his universal form to show that how he is inconceivable, he shows his cosmic form to Arjuna, where the thousands of arms, thousands of heads, and thousands of legs and everything is quite opulent over there. And also how he saves the Draupadi from becoming, being disrobed. So he gives us this transcendental cloth where it's never ending, so nobody could actually see Draupadi disrobed. He literally protects his dearest, most devotees from the evil people, from everyone. And is quite forgiving. Krishna is most forgiving and most merciful. So all of us should actually try and follow the regulative principles. Here what we say is, regardless of the race and religion, color, gender, occupation, and the country of residence, regardless of the past sinful actions, everyone can go back to the kingdom of God and live eternally in complete bliss. if from this moment onwards one stops all sinful activities and controls the desires and worships Krishna, what we can see is God is full of mercies, compassion, love, and forgiveness. So we still have a chance. So we try not to kill any animals, humans, or trees. Obviously, we're doing following the four regulative principles. We should not show any hatred or any envy towards anybody. We should not be lying. We should not be stealing. No cursing. No violence toward anybody. Which obviously in Vaishnava culture we are lucky to be in that form where we are at least our paths are more or less are made so we can actually a little bit better than what we were before coming to this Krishna consciousness. So God is described in the scriptures of one religion, and he has been seen by the followers of one religion, Sanatana Dharma. This is because God is one. I just wanted to tell you one story where Krishna. So basically, what happens over here is one of the Brahmanas, he will be having, I'm sure you'll know this story also, where one of the Brahmanas will be having children, but his children usually, they die of they die, the moment they're born, they die. And then that time, I think King Ugrasena was there, so Brahmana really goes and cries in front of the god that, oh, you were not able to save my child. Like that way, I think he'll have about 8 or 9 children who 8 children or something, they die. Every time they're born, they die. So he literally goes and has his grievance against to the king of Ugrasena. And that time Lord Krishna and Arjuna were listening. So Arjuna steps up and he says, okay, and he says, basically the Brahmana will say like, you're the king, you should protect us, and you're not able to protect my children, unborn children who are dying. I'm not able to be a father. I cannot even save my children. So over here, Arjuna, as a Kshatriya, he becomes really restless and he says, I will protect you from, I will try to save your child. So, but the child again, so if I don't save, obviously I will jump into the fire and die. So he will say, I will protect you because of the this weapon which Lord Shiva had given him, the bow, this Pashupata Sastra weapon, which Lord Shiva had given him while he was hunting in the forest. So he thinks that this weapon is going to protect anybody from taking the dead child away. So basically, when the child will be born, even the child really could not be saved and dies. And so Arjuna will be about to go and jump into the fire when Lord Krishna will try to stop him. Then he will take Arjuna and then he said, okay, let's go and find where the children are. So they will go to different places, and where they will go is, so Lord Krishna, what he will do, he will get this beautiful chariot, and then both of them, they go into the darkness beyond this universe, and then beyond that will be much more darker. So with this Sudarshana Chakra, he lights up the whole way, and then they reach the Brahma Jyoti, and they go beyond the Brahma Jyoti. With Brahma Jyoti, obviously Arjuna will not be able to see the glare, because but then Krishna will try to say that this is me only, this is part of my light. And then they go beyond the Brahma Jyoti, and then they go to where the Kshir Sagra, and where they will go to where Mahavishnu. So from Mahavishnu, they will see Mahavishnu will be lying in this ocean, and where all the universes will be coming out of his body, breathing in and breathing out. And then after that, then they go beyond, and they will go to this Kshirosagra, where Arjuna will then see this large palace. Yeah, he will see this large palace, and then he will go over there in this Kshirosagra, where the Anantanag is there with his thousands and thousands of heads. Each of these heads are bedecked with lots of jewels, and there's so much of opulence over there. And then you can see how Mahavishnu will be lying over there, and then he'll be dressed up in his yellow clothes and very, very attractive with his curling hair and eyes like lotus petals and beautiful earrings and helmet and all that you can see in Krishna. Vishnu was dressed up as the Lord, in his most opulent form, where you can see on the Lord's chest mark, there will be the symbol of Shivastava, the resting place of goddess of fortune. And he'll have his Kaustava jewels and Vajantimala flowers, and then you have Nanda and Sudarshana all standing by themselves, by the side of the Lord. Then Krishna and Arjuna enter over there, and they offer the respects of Lord Mahavishnu. You might be wondering why Krishna is bowing down to Lord Vishnu, but it's the same, his expansion. So Mahavishnu, he says, they'll be searching for this children, dead children. They'll not find them. Then over here, Mahavishnu will say, okay, dear Krishna and Arjuna, here are your children. They are all over here. I've kept them over here. And all the Brahmanas' children are here. The reason why I kept them over here is I wanted to meet you both. I wanted to meet the two of you for a very long time. So no one but you would ever be able to find them here, or would even come here looking for them. So together you are non-different from Lord Narayana. So you have kindly removed so many demonic kings from the face of this earth. By following the laws of religion, you teach the whole world how it will naturally become a peaceful and prosperous and happy place. So he says, thank you for coming all the way to Shwetadeepa. I feel happy and blessed. Now take the children, and then they'll go back. And then he was saying like, oh, the Brahmana and his wife must be really suffering since losing them. So then Krishna and Arjuna, they offer their obeisances and then return back to the children, to the Brahmana. So this Lord Krishna's special mission was to protect the devotees and kill the demonic kings. So therefore he killed many hundreds and hundreds of thousands of demons. And some of them he killed personally, and some of them he ordered Arjuna to kill. So he brought many pious kings such as Yudhishthira to rule the world in peace according to the rules of religion. So Krishna's pastimes are so wonderful, and even the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu, who is not different from himself, was attracted to Lord Krishna. So you can see like the lots of pastimes of Lord Krishna, where you will find how each story is, if you do it in detail, is nothing. I mean, it is more very, very interesting, I feel how the different. This is the 7 oceans of Lord Krishna is something we wanted to just quickly say, where Krishna is like Karunya Jaladhi, where he becomes an ocean of compassion. The example of here is given as when Putana, obviously the Rakshashi who will try to kill Lord Krishna as a child, not even very young, but still, I mean, how Krishna will try to deliver her from the demoniac form. So how Krishna over there, he shows his compassion. And then over here they show another one with the 7 characters they try to say over here is Saushalya Jaladhi, where Krishna is the ocean of good character, where Krishna will be how he bows down in front of Vasudeva and Devaki, his parents, and is quite obedient, and how he renders service to Sandeepa Muni. He gives his Guru Dakshina to Sandeepa Muni, and there are lots of other, and how Krishna will he folds his, when he gives back the kingdom to Ugrasena, how he treats Ugrasena as the king, and how he bows down over there. So it shows how Krishna is a good character. And then obviously the different ways how they try to say how Krishna is an ocean of beauty, and he's an ocean of sweetness, ocean of gravity. Then how is an ocean of benevolence, ocean of affection. That all different characters of Krishna they're trying to describe. But as we all know, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can render your service to Krishna, your devotional service to Krishna, in the form you like, depending upon whatever relationship you can have with Krishna, as like a Vatsalya form, or as a Sakha, or as a conjugal lover, or as any whatever, as a son or father, or whatever it is. Whatever form you do, you have the special relationship with Krishna. Nobody can take that away from you. And Krishna will reciprocate with you the way you perform a devotional service or the way you look at Krishna. So the takeaway question over here is reciprocation. So for example, when Krishna, when suppose there's rain is falling, right? And if you keep a small bowl, the rain will fall and it'll try to hold the water in it. But if you keep the bowl overturned, then all the water will flow away. But if you keep the bowl in a position where you can receive the water, then at least it'll contain the water. And so in that way, you can take in all the mercy. It depends upon how you look at the Lord. When you look at the Lord with that have full faith in Him and surrender unto Him, then I'm sure you'll be able to see miracles happening. But if you just dismiss Him as just like any other ordinary thing or an atheist thing that there's no God, then you might not be able to see any miracles at all. And then maybe then who comes and relieves you? So all of us come towards, in our lives, all of us come towards devotional service. Even though, however, you do, how much of karma yoga you do, how much of jnana yoga you do, unless a devotee comes and shows you the path towards devotional service, you can never achieve that special mercy from Krishna. So your special mercy to guide towards Krishna will always be from another Vaishnava or from another devotee. It doesn't have to be a pure devotee. It has to be just a devotee of Krishna who will guide us. So ultimately, to go towards Lord Krishna, all of us, somebody has brought us into this path. So we should also be a messenger of Lord Krishna and bring other people to path by luck or by anything. Even by just giving a book to somebody or by just donating a Bhagavad Gita or donating any other book, giving a small knowledge. You never know how a person can transform themselves. You don't know what state of mind they would be in that situation when they're receiving the information or they're listening to you. So we should take every opportunity, however we are, to advocate Krishna in our lives. Hare Krishna. Sorry, today has been a bit dry, but try to let. I'm so sorry. There's nearly time up. Please forgive me for all my mistakes and making it really a bit more. I was just reading some, so I'm so sorry for that. I wasn't able to talk through. So please forgive me today for my mistakes. Please fill in if there's anything and any questions at all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
To accept my humble obeisances. Mataji, wonderful, wonderful stories, and there's no mistakes. That was really nice class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking about this. Was it Jaydev Goswami?
Oh, Jayadev Goswami. There's a beautiful song, Mataji. You know that. There are lots of songs actually. But I think all of y'all, I don't know if y'all want me, I can just do a quick singing if you want. Otherwise, it'll be too late maybe.
Yes.
Should we do?
Yes, please. I don't know if
Okay.
everybody agree.
Mataji? Yeah, it's a very nice song actually. So
Okay.
I'll just do quickly. I'm sure all of y'all know that song anyway. Shrita Kamala Kucha Mandalaye Dhruta Kundalaye Dhruta Kundalaye Kalita Lalita Vanamala Jaya Jaya Deva Hari Radhe Krishna Govinda Gopala Yes Vasudeva Bala Nanda Dulala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Jaya Jaya Deva Hare Dinamani Mandala Mandana He Bhava Khandana He Bhava Khandana He मुनि जन मनस हंस जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाल नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे मधुमुर नरक विनाशन हे गरुडासन हे गरुडासन हे सुरकुल केळी निदान जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाळ जय नंद तुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे मधुमुर नरक विनाशन हे गरुडासन हे गरुडासन हे सुरकुल केळी निदान जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे कालिया विषधर गंजन हे जन रंजन हे जन रंजन हे जदुकुल नलिन दीनेश जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाळ जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे अमल कमल दल लोचन हे भव मोचन हे भव मोचन हे त्रिभुवन भुवन निदान जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाळ जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे जनक सुत कृत भूषण हे जित दूषण हे जित दूषण हे समर समित दस कंठ जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाळ जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे अभिनव जलधर सुंदर हे धृत मंदर हे धृत मंदर हे श्रीमुख चंद्र चकोर जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव लाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे तब चरणं प्रणतवयम् इति भावये कुरु कुशलं प्रणतेषु जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे श्री जय देव कवेरदं हे कुरुते मोदं ये कुरुते मोदं ये मङ्गलम् उज्ज्वल गीतम् जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल वसुदेव बाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे राधे कृष्ण गोविंद गोपाल श्री वसुदेव बाल जय नंद दुलाल जय जसोदा दुलाल जय जय देव हरे जय जय देव हरे जय श्री कृष्ण जय देव गोस्वामी की जय हरे कृष्ण जय
Hari
Oh,
Bol,
Mataji,
so nice.
wonderful.
Hare
It
Bol,
comes
Hare
directly
Krishna.
from the heart, directly
So
from the heart,
beautiful,
Mata.
Mataji.
So
Mataji,
beautiful.
thank you
Hare
so
I was
much. It was
Thank you,
mesmerized.
Mataji.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
beautiful. Hare
Very nice,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna
so nice.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mata.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
listening,
much.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
No,
Haven't
really
heard
nice.
this before, Mataji. Thank you for singing
I haven't
very
heard, even I
new
haven't heard.
song.
Very beautiful.
Beautiful.
This is in Mataji when we go to Jagannath Puri. So
Mhm.
all the pandas sing this way.
Oh,
This is, I mean,
okay.
what I think the Gita Govinda they sing over there, the servitors over there, they
Mhm.
sing this and they sing the Dasavatara because this all
Yeah.
Jayadeva
Jai
Goswami.
Goswami.
He's origin from Orissa, so his
Mhm.
things they sing in the temple of Lord Jagannath and in the early because when I went in Kartik Mahina, right? Then another one more song which I really wanted to learn. I will learn later. I don't have to because when we sat over there in Kartik Mehta, all these ladies they do this abhishek. What do you call it? I forgot that. Where all these they get up early in the morning. They will not eat anything. Abhishek. So what they do is they will be they'll keep all the strict religious principles. They will not eat other normal namak and all that. They will not eat. They will fast. And for them, there's a special thing where they're allowed to go and see the deities much more earlier. The other people, general population, will be in big lines, but they will be allowed. So there'll be lots of men going in that crowd. From God knows, from whole part of Orissa, they'll be coming. So early morning, you will see 3 o'clock. There'll be a big queue. So I went in this Kartik Mehta. So 3 days continuous, I went early in the morning. And then I sit at the doorsteps because they're waiting for the servitors to do the morning prayers. And then you can hear them inside singing these, and it'll be so nice. Everybody from outside was, if you're near the doorstep, Mataji, you can hear them singing. And absolutely, that is so blissful. And for me, I was really craning. I was in the general queue and was really craning to hear the songs because I could hear a little bit of songs. And I was just praying to God, Krishna, can I come a little bit here? Let me hear a bit more, And luckily, they just opened up the door and I went and happened to sit near the doorsteps. And you could hear so clearly. And that is, again, it is a sign like Krishna, whatever you want really with your heart, He will fulfill. So I sat over there and we were just singing. Oh my God, you can't sing. You're literally crying actually because you can hear at the doorstep. Yeah.
So what is it? The one that you just sang, or another bhajan?
Mataji?
Is it the one that you just sang, or was it another bhajan?
No, this is I mean another bhajan. These are the bhajans we sing. This is the servitors they sing when Krishna comes out for the yatra. When we have the Gundicha Yatra, when they come out, Krishna, that time all the servitors sing this. They also sing this in the night also, but the one which I heard was a different song, which I really want to know. But this one is sung by the servitors at the Lord. So the Dashavatara also they sing, and they have a different tune which they sing, like the Oriya people, they don't say verse. Like Oriya, there's no ver, there's always ba. So that's where you hear me saying, like, even I have to learn Oriya, because I stayed in Andhra, which I was learning Telugu, and my Oriya is not so great as actual Oriya person, but I'm learning. So, yeah, but it's still better than non-Oriya people. So, it is quite nice to hear the song from and Lord Jagannath loves it. He wants to hear these songs, every time. So, it's absolutely wonderful. If you go early in the morning, you'll be able to hear. Normal time you won't be able to hear this, Mataji, or when you go late in the night you can hear these things, So the special occasions we can, if we are lucky, I might get a chance to go and listen to the lordships, when they're doing the aarti, because they don't allow anybody, only the pandas go there. So special mercy we should have. Sometimes some people can have a little bit of access, they can go. But I was very pleased to be even in that crowd among them to listen to these vibrations, of the songs.
Being at that place, Mataji, that was in itself blissful. You were so lucky to be there at that specific time.
Mataji, all of us will be there in our mind also. We can think Lord Jagannath sitting in front of you, and Lord Jagannath give you that mercy.
When I went in the afternoon. I didn't go in the morning or in the evening. I'm planning, if Krishna's mercy, whenever he wants to, he will take me again.
But you should actually go and stay there and then try to make these trips go early in the morning. How all of us run for Mangala Aarti, we have special mercy. Similar type, even Jagannath has Mangala Aarti early in the morning.
So they allow everybody, it's not that.
The thing is that servitors, they won't allow anybody. You should have a panda. As a special mercy, that's what I'm saying. But at the doorstep, you can sit when in the queue, right? You can still hear because it is in the temple, right? So they're singing loudly, so you can still hear them. And from outside, you can still, you can follow, like how you heard that words we are saying, Radhe, Radhe, Krishna, Govinda, Gopala. So they have a different rhythm, and you can catch that and you can sing with them. Because you can't, if you know the song, there were so many devotees with me, Mataji, they were singing the songs. They knew that song, which I didn't know. And they were
Maybe
singing the
they're
whole thing.
regulars, so they must be regulars, so they know
Yes, yes,
those songs. You see,
yes.
and for us, I just heard this today. That is beautiful, very nice, and
Oh, thank you,
beautifully sang as well, Mataji.
Send me the link, Mataji, please.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, everyone. Let us do the Vancha Kalpata prayers.
Yes,
Okay.
Vancha
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Bhagavad
Jai.
Gita ki jai,
Jai.
Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Lord Jagannath ji ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna ki jai, Sri Radha Gokulananda, Sri Radha Madhaveshwara, all the Krishna forms and Radha forms, sabhi ko jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai, Jai.
Mamta
Thank you.
Mataji ki jai. Thank you.
Mataji.
Please, Mataji, please all